Welcome to 52 Authors, 52 Weeks, Season 3. I'm Dr. Lisa L. Campbell, the Growth Motivator. Each week, I sit down with a different author to explore what lies behind the pages. Growth, purpose, finding your voice. Enjoy today's episode. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another amazing episode of 52 Authors, 52 Weeks. Today, I'm joined by author R.A. Barber, author of, guys, now you have to just really check out this title, and I got a couple of more things I want to share with you. But the name of the book is Welcome to the Holy City, the Ashley Terrace Book #1. And guys, listen, I have this book as a Kindle book. It is 572 pages. So you guys are in for a treat as we have our conversation. But before we dig in, I'm going to allow our author, R.A. Barber, to provide an introduction.
Well, hello. I am so bad at introductions, but I'm R.A. Barber, and this is my first published work, and I am just so excited to be here and to talk to you about it. So thank you so much for having me.
Can you please hold up the book cover so people can see it? Yes, yes. So I have a Kindle and it's on my computer and iPad. But so let me just tell you this, okay? So I was like 572 pages. What's going on in this book? So I've done something that I've never done before, and that was I went to go read the reviews on your book. This is year 3 of 52 Authors, 52 Weeks. I've never read a review. I literally, like, people sign up, I interview them, the episode airs, and I just let the cards fall where they may. And so one of the things that I found as a trend, if you will, a lot of people said they weren't really sure what to expect. But once they stepped inside the Ashley Terrace, they were hooked. They talk about all of these twists and turns, these deep layered characters. They talk about that you have a very vivid imagination. And I was thinking 570 some odd pages, you definitely have to have next level imagination to produce something like this, because your girl here, yeah, she's like, oh, 150 pages. All right, I think I can get to that with some charts and some places to write. But you definitely have an audience who wants more. So we'll see what the future holds. So what do you think about those reviews?
They say to not read the reviews, and I still have the tab up for Goodreads in my phone. I can't help it, and I was so excited. I was so excited for every review, even the ones that were. I haven't, knock on all kinds of wood, I have not had a bad review yet. I have not had like a rip you to shreds review, but I've had definitely some constructive criticism, and I love it. I love all of them. One thing I was thinking about the other day is, I think, and I'm the same way with this. I think a lot of authors will become very protective and attached to their characters. But one thing that I have loved and enjoyed is hearing who people like and don't like, especially like the characters, like some that I am personally like attached to, that other people are like, oh my God, I can't stand him. And it just it makes me laugh. And because they're becoming real, people. And I absolutely love that. And I have loved reading the reviews. Sometimes I read things in the reviews and I'm like, okay, you see that better than I do. And it's really affirming to see that.
I love that for you. So I've written a couple of books and my memoir. Now I'm interested in seeing if anybody said anything on Amazon. I didn't publish on Amazon. I went through a publisher, and so we have reviews that are on my website. And I guess, what could you say bad about a memoir? But they were all good. But
Mm.
now I'm going to have to check out if there's something on any other site because I haven't done that. And honestly, it wouldn't bother me. Listen, at 52 years old, there's not much that bothers me.
And not everybody is going to enjoy everything, and you have to tell yourself that. And I'm completely fine with that. The one thing that I said from the beginning is that I'm just writing this. I'm just trying to get this published just so I can literally see it in print. Like whatever happens after that is great, but the fact that I can physically hold it is the end game for me. So that's all I ever cared about.
I love that. And I think one of the cool things about a book is that when you're no longer on this earth, your book will still be basically out there in the world for someone to read. And so I feel like we all have an audience, our people, our tribe, right? And so those are the people who are supposed to be reading the book. I interviewed someone who was like a gamer. I am not a gamer, and
Mm.
I'm just clueless about gaming. So listen, for me, the last time I played a video game, it was Atari. It probably was 1980. So that's all I got. Even though I do love Pac-Man,
Mm.
I don't even understand the whole gaming industry. It's just a whole vibe that just I haven't tapped into yet. Not my tribe, right? So let's get into the book a little bit. So we only have, 30 minutes total. We probably got about 20 minutes left. And so the Ashley Terrace Hotel feels like it's not a person, not a building, but like a character, right? Because it's like it's glamorous, but it has so much darkness on the inside. What inspired you to write a book about a historic luxury hotel that was set in 1980 when I was 7 in Charleston?
1988 into
1988.
89.
Okay. See, what happens when you get old? You mix up stuff.
um, a few different things. One thing I love it and I enjoy it when I hear people comparing the hotel itself to a character. I don't know if I see it that way, but I love that take on it. I love that. For me, the building is just home for these characters because it means so much to so many different people within the world of this book. I don't necessarily see it as its own character, but I definitely see it as the center, the focal point of that world. Um, I've I got the idea honestly working in hospitality. I no longer do. I haven't for years, and know that there's not really any big situation that's based on real life or anything, but just the feeling of working there. I worked breakfast shift just like a lot of the characters in the book of a hotel restaurant, and it occurred to me one day how the hospitality industry, the service industry, things like that are like the last stand of the upstairs downstairs feeling. The haves, the have-nots, the help, all of that. Um, you know, not everybody's like this, but some people, come in, they will look at you like the help, like dispensable, like you are tertiary characters in the background of their main story going on. But those people, the ones that are bringing you your coffee, have their own lives, have their own struggles, their successes, their failures. And I was one of them. And it got me thinking. I was also watching Downton Abbey at the time, so
I've never seen it. Oh my God, I'm so behind.
so good, so good. I'm not gonna go into it, copyright infringement, all that. But it really got me thinking. I was in Charleston. We were living in Charleston at the time, and I have always loved that city. I think it is one of the most beautiful and historical cities, definitely in the state. Definitely in the South. And I was raised about an hour and a half north of it. We would come down for vacation, and it always just felt like home. I've always loved being down there. So I was working in this hotel, living in Charleston. And another thing, and this isn't a huge spoiler because I think it gets brought up a lot. I'm not going to go into what happens during it, but I will say that the book ends with Hurricane Hugo hitting the hotel in 1989. My mother was carrying me during that. We lived just north of it. She was pregnant with me when the storm hit. I grew up hearing about Hurricane Hugo. Everyone in South Carolina has a Hurricane Hugo story. They can tell if they are over 40, they can tell you where they were when Hurricane Hugo hit. Not many people outside of South Carolina know, but South Carolinians do know. And I've always been fascinated with the storm because, it hit my home the year that I was born. So when I had the idea for the novel, I said, if I'm going to do this, and I'm going to back it up, and I'm going to include Hugo in it. So the starting point, 1988, was specific to be a year before, so that I could have all the lead up and end it on a cliffhanger with Hurricane Hugo hitting. And that was one of the biggest things that I had in my head the whole time I was writing it. Even the times that I didn't think I was going to finish, like that I had shelved it and I wasn't putting any effort in. Sometimes I would just be laying in bed and I could see the scene, the scenes in the storm, and I could see it so vividly playing out in my head. And I'll say that even after everything else, you change, you tweak, and everything, that chapter, that scene is almost exactly what it was from conception to written. And I'm so proud of that. That's
Wow.
a long-winded explanation to what inspired this.
Oh no, that's okay. You know what? This is your story to tell, not mine, right? So that's the whole purpose of this platform, is to allow everybody to tell their story. One of the things that is very important to me, is that 52 authors, 52 weeks represents what the world looks like, what the world experiences, right? There's so much hate in the world. I'm just here to spread the love, um, of all the authors that were brave enough to. It takes a lot to write something
Mhm.
and rewrite and edit. So people who think we got nothing else better to do, we got a special set of skills. They just don't
Yeah.
even know. So my next question for you is, you oh, let me just back up for a second because I have to say something. You talked about the hospitality community and how people look at them as less than. I think we've lost our ability to be humble,
Mhm.
in that you never know where you will be, where you need to restart at. So
Mhm.
don't look down on someone who's providing a service to you, because you as a person should be willing to serve everybody and not think that they're the help. That actually kind of pisses me off, because and let me say this. Mm, I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it because we're friends here, right? I could be standing in a store with this dress on, and could be confused for a moment, or not confused. I'm just trying to figure out. First of all, I don't like going to stores. And somebody could just come up to me and say, "Where is such and such at?" And the younger version of me would say, "I don't work here." The older, more refined version of me just turns and looks. And then they say, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry you don't work here." Like, really? Do you see me with a name tag on or a uniform? So I just think some people got their stuff twisted up and it just doesn't sit well with me. I'm for everybody. Okay. I'm for everybody. Um, I have a special needs daughter who is 33. And a lot of times when people look at her, sometimes they stare, right? Because her head is very small. And physically, she's this little tiny thing, but she's 33. And they just kind of stare, and I just kind of, what you looking at? So, anyway, so your story weaves together the lives of, on one hand, family, staff, who are all got their own little stuff, their own little secrets. How did you approach creating these layered characters whose paths kind of collide and join under this one roof?
So because we were having this conversation earlier, that's why I paused, because I'm like, do I want to just repeat myself? But it really just started with writing. I mean, just getting it out. I didn't know when I started if all of these characters were going to be the same thing with different names. One of the things I heard very early on, and I'll be honest, I don't take a lot of author advice. Like I do, like when I say that, I don't mean like, from, people that I know that, or, but like the out there, like, this is how you should write your book. Like, I don't really even subscribe to that because it doesn't work for me. But one thing I heard that really did resonate is that all of your characters should have their own voice. So when I was writing, I was thinking about it, but I can't say I was putting a lot of effort into it yet. When I was going back and editing, I know I was thinking definitely of how things that maybe one character would say that another one wouldn't. So putting that in, but the groundwork before I even got to there was just thinking about who this person was and what their backstory was, what brought them up to where they are. Why might one character be a little more spunky, a little more in your face, whereas another character is, no, I'm just going to stand back. What brought you to that point? So, and I think that really helped to establish that voice, just knowing the character that has it.
Mm-hmm. I remember writing my first book, and my editor asked me she wanted me to capture a list of the characters, which were actually people in my life, and the different themes. And at first, when she asked me to do that, I was like, I am so tired of this book. I don't want to do anything else. But that was a good exercise for me because it helped me reflect on the story that I was telling, um, the characters who I included in the book. It helped me realize that I was missing someone, so I was able to put them in. So that was a good exercise that I've actually carried over to the book that I'm writing now, where I'm like, okay, let's capture the themes. And it's a little tedious to do, but it's so worthwhile. So without giving away any spoilers, let's see how we can do this. So you have this one guest who is very mysterious. Um, what role does this character play in kind of just like disrupting the balance, the what was going on inside of the hotel?
So I will have to correct you a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Not a guest. And that's a good point to say that there's very little guest interaction, I will say. Like especially if you like me come from the hospitality industry and you're going into this wanting, to see a lot of what you live with guest interactions and stuff like that, you're not going to get it. There's some, but it much more focuses on the day-to-day life of the people that run the hotel. The character that you're talking about is Mary Ann. She is the newest employee of the hotel.
She was a guest. That was her first time there.
And she was a guest for about 10 minutes. For about 10 minutes, she was a guest. And she disrupts a lot for one character. I'm not going to go into that because, like you said, no spoilers. But she comes in and she's freshly 18. She's very naive. She has not really experienced the world. She has a bit of a mysterious backstory that does not get dealt with in book 1. So you have to wait for that. But she comes in and she has to get hit by life and learn how to grow up, and the people around her have to learn how to incorporate her into their world. Like the owner of the hotel. So the Stanton family owns the hotel, and the third generation is running it now. So Addison and his wife Claire's the one who hires her first and wants to take a chance on her. Is very supportive of her, and then the head server, Amanda, who is probably my favorite character. When I was talking about some characters might be a little more spunky, I was directly referring to Amanda. At first, she has no time for her because she's seasoned in her craft. She's very hardened by life, and she doesn't have time for, as she says, this naive little country girl coming in and getting in the way. So Amanda and Marion have to learn how to work together, and they end up not a huge spoiler. They end up becoming best friends. So they all did have their set routine before she comes in, and she's not really a part of the main arc of the story. I will she's not a catalyst or anything. She is a huge part of the arc for one character, and she is a huge part of the arc for the ending chapter in the story.
So I was going to ask you who your favorite character is, but we now know that answer. So I have another question about what do you hope readers will reflect on regarding the impact of secrets and generational lies and the moment when you're forced to face them. What do you hope that the readers, because I think it has an impact on how we approach life too.
One of the biggest things that I kind of dealt with the secrets and the backstory was kind of how far you'll go to protect someone you love, and how in that moment when you're making those decisions that you think are for that benefit, how that might be so wrong. It might be the hugest mistake of your life, but it's one that you're going to have to live with for the rest of your life. And it really, for most people, it all boils down to trying to protect those that you love, and how, what can start as something innocuous can become the theme and the overarching just everything of your life. So that was really interesting to me to think about when we're talking about the secrets of why are we doing this? Why are we here?
So I have not read the whole book. It's like an emotional roller coaster for me. And primarily because it's not a genre of a book that I normally read. I'm normally reading a book about mindset and imposter syndrome and all of that. So this one had actual characters and themes. if a kid ever needs to be punished and needs to do a book report, this is the book, because it'll start off as a punishment. No, start off as a punishment because it's 600 pages,
Yeah.
but they will walk away with some lessons about life. So
Well,
it starts off like a punishment because it's 600 pages. But then as they go through, they will learn some things that I think can help with life. And I like how there was this 18-year-old and these old people, I call them old people, because I think from one generation to the next, we don't respect the generations and what they bring to the table. We just see them as, oh, you're young, wet behind the ears. Like, I go to water aerobics in the morning, and these women who are older are like, oh, you're so young. I'm like, ma'am, I'm 52. When am I not going to be so young? But my mother said, well, you got to realize they are 70 and 80. And so to them, you're young. But
I'm right in the middle of that at 35. I have definitely the people in my life that look at me like the baby, but then I have the younger ones that are looking, and that's as I'm sure you can attest to, that's a weird place to be in, where you're having to both be the leader and the child at the same point.
And one of the things that I love about this podcast is that I get to connect with individuals that are younger than me, that are older than me, because I feel like there's something that we can learn from each other. And so I'm so happy that you got this book out. So, two questions to ask you. One is about where people can find you and find the book. And then the other question is, what does the future hold for you? Are you going to write a movie to go with this book? Like, I'm like I would say I'm a big thinker now when it comes to writing my books. Like, what type of impact do I want to have on the future? And it doesn't have to even be about the book. Maybe you got something else you got cooking up.
So, very good questions. So, where you can find the book, all major retailers, Barnes and Noble, Amazon, all things like that. My website is rabarberauthor.com, has links to the socials in it. And if you're trying to contact, you can contact the publisher at info. Talking about 35, my memory. Let me verify I'm telling you everything right. rabarberauthor.com. info@winsbooks.blog is the publisher's email to contact. Please do. And as far as what is in store, I don't think I even hit on the fact that this is supposed to be the first of a series. I mean, you get that obviously from the title, but what I'm looking at is I have planned out 6 books in the series to run basically the entirety of the 90s. Like, we started in 88, we're going to end on January 1st, 2000. So my whole childhood, I'm going to be getting to do with that. As far as what I would like to see for this book or the books in the future, I don't know how to write a movie. That's not me.
It doesn't matter. You can still get it done.
But if anyone from Netflix is watching, I do think this would be a very good series. In fact, I will say it is written like it's a television series. Like, this is season 1, and then every chapter is an episode with little scenes throughout the episode. There's 11 chapters, 11 episodes. Netflix, it would be really good, I'm telling you.
I love that you did that. So that means when this episode airs, you definitely need to say at Netflix, check this out. Because I believe that if you put things out into the atmosphere, they can happen.
I
believe that.
I hope so. I mean, it would be good. It would be good.
Well, and yeah, because people like movies.
And the 80s are big. The 80s are big right now.
Yes.
And the 90s are even bigger, and we're about to get into that.
Well, the 70s were better. Hey, we all have our thing, right? I think right now there's like 4 generations of people in the workforce. And I think that we all have something of value to offer to each other if we are willing to be open. And I believe in reverse mentoring. I think the young people should mentor the older people because you learn so much. So much. You just got to be open. People are not open though. They're very stuffy. I don't like stuffy. All right. Hey, I'm just a girl from the south side of Chicago who is living her best life, right? Not rich, but living my best life.
Then
So,
you are rich.
yes. So, R.A. Barber, it has been such an honor to have you on 52 Authors, 52 Weeks, year 3. And I wish you the best of luck with what's next. I'm going to be monitoring what's next. I think the other thing about these podcasts is that it's a reminder of what we said we were going to do. And somehow, some way, it just kind of resurfaces, and it's like, I said I was going to do such and such. Let me pick that back up, right? Because life happens. It happens to us all. So, everyone, this has been another amazing episode of 52 Authors, 52 Weeks. We will see you next Saturday. You've just experienced another conversation from 52 Authors, 52 Weeks, Season 3. The conversation may pause here, but the growth continues. I'm Dr. Lisa L. Campbell, the Growth Motivator, and I'll see you next week.